No one was answering their phones because I was far. At some point, I called a whole day. No one answered my calls. I called my brother. I called my mom. I asked someone to come check here. They said no one is at the house. The people who were in Botswana, in Gaborone, were also saying they don't know where my parents are, and they don't know how my dad is doing, but apparently he's unconscious, so it's not looking good. I should prepare for the worst news. So that being said, I was like, okay, I think it's time for me to, make my way. So I was preparing to come back. And as I was preparing to come back, that's when I got the news that he got amputated, and then that the operation was successful. But then now a lot of things had to change because a wheelchair was needed. Even people in the household, whatever he needs to use. So there had to be a quick change of mindset and a quick change to see what we needed then and immediately. So obviously other family members would then, usually people pitch in as family to see what to do as to help in such a situation. But then for me, I didn't wait for that to happen because I'm not really a big fan of family groups and all that, and trying to really move with the majority. I usually, you could call me a renegade. So I took it upon myself to look for a wheelchair, to get all the necessary things that he needed, the medical equipments, the sugar equipments that to test on a daily basis, all that he needed.
Needless to say that on hindsight, it is clear that the proper procedure to arrive at that decision had not been taken. In other words, what I'm saying is, as a mature and lay person at the same time, but with a bit of experience about what happens with sick people, I was simply saying that I should have been carefully observed by the medical people that received me in order for them to reach a decision or conclusion that I needed to be amputated. In other words, when I arrived, the necessary tests were not done.
I didn't want a lot of people trying to feel sorry or that sympathy or that pity or that. So that's why at least when I came, I had the basics of what he would need to at least maneuver without anyone's help, assistance, because then the car wasn't there either. So, and then he opened, he was so happy because my mom opened the boxes, my brothers, we had to dismantle the wheelchair. He immediately then had to see how to use it. And that was it, hey? I think I answered more questions than you. I went beyond. Sorry.
The kind of approach that was taken about that situation was too physical. In other words, there was no medical attention to it to show that it was not responding to medication or to a medical intervention. So what happened was, in the name of what I now know to be called debridement, a small blister, which is just about 10 millimeters in diameter, was diverted into removing all the skin on my foot, all the top skin on my foot, in the quest to see why that blister was there. So my whole foot became an ugly wound, including lacerations or feather cuttings in between the toes. When I looked at it the following morning, after I'd been detained for that whole night, it was a mess. It was much, much worse than how I arrived at. No skin on my foot, cuttings in between my toes, and some extra pain that I didn't even feel when I came. And it didn't look like there was much intervention to deal with the pain that I was feeling, or that I was going to feel after that debridement. So what caused me to leave that hospital was that I lost faith in that medical team. First of all, the doctor that was attending to me, I last saw him on that night. The following morning when the new team came, and the subsequent days that came after that, maybe 5 more days, when I was still in that hospital, I never saw his face. He never told me what he did to me and why. The team that was there with the new doctor was actually implying that I had stayed too much at home without coming to the hospital.
I know the first days it was medication, he used to be sedated. The pain which is going through, for him to get used to it, the fall, he'll be falling, I'm sure forgetting that he doesn't have another leg. And also maybe us thinking he'll be able to hold on to the wall or something. Or that it's a new setup, you have to find something, your bathrooms, the loo, it has to have something for him to hold on to go there. The wheelchair stuff, all that. It's a new thing, new dimension to, I don't know what I can say. It's just, here you have lost a job after COVID. This is the first job you get after COVID, and you're hoping to actually stand on your feet. You are hit by the amputation issue, which also was not even, we never got the counseling for it. We're not ready for it. As far as we know, you have to be given at least get time to digest whatever you have, to at least sit down with your family and let it calm down properly. But here it's done like it's a matter of life and death. It changes the whole setup. You can't, I don't know what I can say, the right words for this. It's one of a change of a lifestyle overnight, upside down. Now you are jobless and you are running a family business, all of you are in it. And now for you, one of you is not there. It's like a table, one leg is gone. Each and everyone in the family has got a duty. You've got your own designated job which you do in the company. But in that moment, the head is cut off. How do you expect somebody to walk without a head? Now we have to go around it to see who is going to do this and that. But at the same time, we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about his health, because that's number one issue in the house. The emotional torture. I will not cry in front of him. I'll go outside somewhere, cry myself until I keep quiet. My son also in his own place. My daughter, we could not even do it in front of him because we didn't want him to feel bad. I'm sure him also, he was feeling the same stuff. It's something else. I don't know what I can say, but this is just somebody who's just decided to play God, just like that, and doesn't even put himself in your shoes to say, if I do this to this guy, what will happen? Oish.